Sit back and relax. It's time to have your ears tortured. It's From the Front Row with Johnathan T. Rokford.
What's up, WP? It's me, Johnathan T. Rokford, here with another edition of From the Front Row. And folks, I know we weren't here last week. We were doing some editing. Getting this beautiful song that I love so much back on the air, as the other one was just so bland. Every once in a while we like to switch it up. Just like Game Changer champions like to switch it up every now and then, as Texas Hates You, our new Game Changer champion, took on the Thai villain, and we had a change, as the Thai villain was able to defeat him and become a two-time Game Changer champion. Now, next, the Thai villain was able to call out the Lucha Libre. Unfortunately, he was not able to defeat the Lucha Libre and turned the title over to him. Now, Lucha Libre decided that's where it was going to stop at, as he called out his next opponent, Robert Isaiah Salea, to avenge the loss he had against him that caused him to lose his title. And he was able to defeat Robert Isaiah Salea in true championship fashion. Now, his next person he called out was a very controversial figure by the name of Luscious Lucius. And folks, he didn't just call him out. No. He couldn't just say, hey, Luscious, you want to battle for this Game Changer title? No. He called him a bitch. And uncharacteristically, there was no response from Luscious Lucius. He literally let Lucha Libre call him a bitch. If he was talking in Pigland, he'd be an itch bay. And then, if that wasn't bad enough, he didn't even show up. Couldn't find him nowhere. Which makes sense, since in our first official match, he still couldn't be found. But luckily for him, neither could El Hijo de COVID. So, we're going to take that match and we're going to crumple it up and throw it out. Our next match featured the Prince of Crime Delirious versus Lady Assassin. And I know you get tired of me hearing me say it, folks, but Lady Assassin is no easy person. She's just not gonna roll over and lose. And Delirious found out the hard way, as they fought to a time limit draw. Good thing that wasn't Big Mel, because he probably would have been complaining about that one. Now, our next match did go to completion. It was the Thai villain versus Captain Chaos, with the Thai villain picking up the win over Captain Chaos. Man, lose Game Changer, defeat Captain Chaos, former world title holder. Pretty good night for the Thai villain. Now, our next match was the Last King versus Emperor 2K Anomalium. And folks, I do not know what kingdom the Last King is the king of. But then again, I don't know what the Emperor rules over either. But he did rule over the Last King, as he defeated him, picking up a win. You gotta be really embarrassing to lose to the Emperor. Now, our next match saw newcomer Starling J taking on the OG, the Wraith, and picking up a win over the Wraith. Some in the crowd were kind of in shock. Others were cheering her on. They was actually chanting her name. Starlin J, Starlin J, Starlin J. At least that's what I think they were saying. Now, in other action, we had the essential Jalen Masters taking on Robert Isaiah Salea. And folks, people don't listen to me. I keep telling you, Jalen Masters is nothing to be messed with. He's a tough competitor one-on-one. Get him in a match where there's more than one competitor, you might have a chance, but one-on-one, he's taking on the best that the WPA has had to offer, and he's beaten them or brought to a draw. But he picked up another win, defeating Robert Isaiah Salea. So, Salea, what's going on? He was on top of the world for a while there. Now you're starting to slide down that L slide. Now, we had Bobby Blaze taking on the Brass Hole next. The Battle of the Killer Bees is what I'm going to call it. And the Brass Hole proved he was the bigger of the two bees as he beat Bobby Blaze. Poor Bobby. I know right now somewhere Melvin is crying because Bobby Blaze lost. That is his hero. Now, our next match had Quani Fist taking on the Darkstalker, who's been on a up and down road this last few weeks, to the point where Phillip's been calling him a scallywag and not that dark of a stalker. But this week he did pick up the win over the Quani Fist, proving that he still got it. Now, last singles match saw Jermaine Walker taking on the Supreme Knight, Mr. Money in the Bank, Mr. I don't want to cash in my check. Like, I don't know what you're waiting for. Like, seriously. You have an opportunity to go for a world title. All you gotta do is say something. Insert yourself into a match. And there's been a bunch of championship matches you could have inserted yourself into. So I really don't know what you're waiting for. Although Extreme Rules, I wouldn't have did it there. No, that would you would have wasted an opportunity at that one. Now, we did have some number one contender matches to take care of. First, we had the triple threat number one contender match as the Messiah took on Needles Kane and Martel the Carpenter, and the Messiah was able to pin Martel Carpenter. Come on. Is anybody surprised by that I just said that? Yeah, let me say it for those in the back. Martel Carpenter got pinned by the Messiah. He blessed him with a pin. And he's now the number one contender for the Triple Threat Championship. Of course, we'll find another one to fill it out. And they will be facing whoever the title holder will be. Now, in the TV title number one contender match, we had Pierre St. Damien taking on Casper 2779. And folks, we still haven't figured out what those numbers are for. I don't know. Maybe it's February 7th, 1979, or I don't know. If you ask other people, that's the number of disappointments he's had in his life. And we've lost count of how many disappointments he's had since he's been a Killer Goon. But this was another disappointment, folks, as he lost to Pierre St. Damien. And Pierre is going to be our number one contender for the TV title. That should be a very interesting match, whoever he's facing. Now, we had two world title eliminator matches. The first one featured Money, MF, and Mike, taking on Michael Oliver and Nathaniel Everett Young, known as Money. And folks, Money did not have it, as he lost to MF and Mike in the first eliminator match. Now, in the second eliminator match, we had the Beast taking on Nergahante, and the Beast finally came through in a contender match and picked up the win to move on. So it'll be Money, MF, and Mike taking on the Beast. Killer Goon versus Sinister. Now, in championship action, we had Texas Hate You versus Shepard Bane versus Bobby Buttercream to determine who was the triple threat champion. And Bobby got taken out early. Before he even made it to the top of the ramp, as he slipped on some cake batter or something and knocked himself out. So it became a one-on-one match between Shepard Bane and Texas Hate You, and Texas Hate You was able to get the pin and retain his title. Now on TV Championship, we had the Professor taking on Lucha Libre, and Lucha Libre maintained his hot streak through the night and was able to beat the Professor and become the new TV champ. What a week for him. Ended up with 2 belts. Libre belt. Double champ. He's a champ in one multiverse called the Game Changer verse. And then he's a champ here in WPA on your TV sets. Now, in our main event, we had the WPA World title on the line as Johnny Rocco took on his challenger, Big Mel, once again. Now, would third time be a charm for Big Mel? As he had a stipulation placed on this match that if he lost, he would not be able to challenge for the world title again as long as it was around Johnny Rocco's waist. Now, all other rules were in effect. And Big Mel did come through as he picked up the win and became the new WPA World Heavyweight Champion. And folks, that's all I got. It was quite the night. Saw 2 title changes. Back to back. 3 if you count the Game Changer title. The initial, anyway. Well, no, it was 2 of them in there. But Phillip's coming up next, folks, to give you his pick for the week. And as always, I say, don't drink and drive. Have a safe weekend. Make sure you hug your loved ones and tell them you love them. And above all, pick up that phone and call that friend that might need to hear your voice. You could be the deciding factor in helping to fight their depression. I'm Johnathan T. Rokford, folks. Coming up next, the man with no name for a show, Phillip Alexander Carrington IV. Take it away, Phil. Oh God, I swear, I love that, Jeffrey. I love that song. Good day, WPA. As I, Phillip Alexander Carrington IV. And for those who don't know me, allow me to explain why you are blessed to hear my voice right now. You see, I am the one you need to impress. It doesn't matter what the bookers think. It doesn't matter what the admin thinks. They're not on my level as far as I'm concerned. No. See, you need to impress me. After all, I hold a pedigree in performing arts. A graduate of Oxford. And contrary to belief, South Wales is not in London. idiot. But I am here this week to bless the person that impressed me with the honor of being my pick for this week. Now, before I get to that, let's address the elephant in the room. It seems the most disgraceful thing I saw this week was the championship match. WPA seems to, how do you say, let the inmates run the asylum at times, and thus you let your champion challenge a man who, and by all intents and purposes, had already retained his title against him once. And because the fool, as you people like to call it, the crybaby, whined and complained and asked to be put into a triple threat match in November of all times, he was given an opportunity to fight for the world title. And to save face, he finessed his way into there, but from what I hear, there was already talks of giving him a title match before that happened. Then a stipulation was placed upon it, which was, I don't know, somewhat absurd in my opinion, but whatever. And then you win it, and it's like you can't be happy. Earlier tonight, I saw a video put on the WPA page by the professor. And the content of it, like he was challenging somebody to something. But the odd thing about it was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure my hearing is up to above standard levels. He started his sentence off with big mouth, with a TH. And our new world champ either has dyslexic hearing, or he is that much of a diva and arrogant fool that he thought his name was mentioned. Sir, I'm pretty sure from my days at Oxford that Mel and mouth don't sound the same. But then again, I don't expect much from a person who does not know what South Wales is. So let me calm down. That is very ungentlemanlike. Definitely make me an appointment, by the way. No, anyway. Enough about that fool. My pick for this week is one luchador, Lucha Libre. A gentleman who schooled the professor. Yes, quite impressive, actually. His speed and accuracy in his moves. His ring awareness. His a certain je ne sais quoi. The man won 2 titles this week. And granted, it's been done before, but it was quite impressive, especially coming from someone who lost a title recently, but came right back and picked up another one. You can't have a more impressive week than that. Oh, yes, I know you may say, oh, what about the guy that won the World Championship? It did not impress me one bit. As a matter of fact, I would venture to say that if he was to fight Johnny Rocco again with the title on the line, he'd probably lose. Now, I do hear through the grapevine that there was a rematch clause in there. Who knows when he may invoke it, but anyway, back to Lucha Libre. Yes, quite. I have not had the opportunity to meet you, sir, but I must say, you, sir, tip of the hat to you. If you ever meet, maybe go get a pint at the local pub. But that is all I have for today. I will see you next week. Until then, good day. I said good day.